Welcome to the Steph Sports Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Steph. As of right now, I'm buried in the snow. It was a huge snowstorm that came through this past weekend. Actually on a Sunday. So I was buried in the house. I did a little bit of shoveling, which I was very tiresome. But I'm back in the house now. Want to do a quick sports talk session real quick. I sat down, watched some football. What was the first game? The AFC Championship game between the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. It was a good game so far until the weather elements start coming. Then it ended up being a slugfest. The New England, they kicked the field goal. Score was 10-7, I believe. I think it was in the third quarter. Denver tried to kick a field goal, but the weather elements wasn't letting that happen. So New England went on to win that game 10-7. They advanced to the Super Bowl. First time since, I believe, 2018 when they beat the Rams in Atlanta. So congrats to them. They'll be trying to get their seventh Super Bowl ring in Santa Clara, California. That's where the Super Bowl will be played at. San Francisco 49ers Stadium. NFC Championship game was great. Between the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. Boy, that was a shootout to the end. The Seahawks ended up winning that game. 30, I believe 31-27 or 30 or 27. They're back in the Super Bowl. Will get their rematch against the New England Patriots. First time both of them teams are in the Super Bowl since 2014 when the Legion Boom, Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Julian Edelman clashed off. That was a good Super Bowl as well. But that Super Bowl should be a good, exciting game. But I got Seattle edging the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl because Seattle has a great offense and their defense is top notch. New England's defense is top notch too, but I don't think offensively New England's offense is top notch to Seattle's offense. Like if Seattle gets after Drake Mayo can make mistakes. Either fumble the ball, probably force him to throw an interception. So New England's best chance is to keep pressure off of Drake Mayo, the second-year quarterback, is to run the ball and run it efficiently. But it's going to be kind of hard to run that ball. Hey, I'm going to say it like this. It's going to be dependent in the trenches. Who will dominate in the trenches? New England's D-line, Seattle's O-line, Seattle's D-line, and New England's O-line. That's going to be the X factor in this game. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a dandy. And my man Reese, he did a Facebook Live I believe yesterday on his take about the Steelers head coaching position in the NFC and AFC championship game. So that would be on this session, probably good for a good 16 minutes. Then the session will end. But I want to talk about some coaching hires. The Tennessee Titans hired Rob Saya. I hope I pronounced it right. Former defensive coordinator for the 49ers. I think that was a little desperate move because I don't know what that do for Cam Ward. Unless he gets a offensive coordinator to fit Cam Ward's athletic abilities or whatever. The Cleveland Browns. This is funny. To me, this is funny as hell. There was 3 coaches that the Cleveland Browns had interest in. They're former head coaches. 3 of them, well, one's a former head coach. The other 2 are coordinators. One offense, one defense. 3 of them coaches declined an interview with the Cleveland Browns for the head coaching position. Now that tells you a lot about the Cleveland Browns organization. That's the most disgraced organization in the history of the NFL. That franchise has been rebuilding since they came back in the league in 1999. And from 1999 to 2015, out of all them seasons, they managed to have 4 winning seasons. That's straight up pathetic to me. The Browns, as of right now, has a championship defense. Their issue has always been the quarterback position. Now, I hope my man Shedeur Sanders get the starting job next season for the Browns. And breaking news on him, he's been he's in the Pro Bowl game as a replacement for Drake Mayo because he's participating in the Super Bowl. So congrats to Shedeur Sanders on that note. And I know the TV ratings is going to go up because of him. And who else? Before I talk about the Steelers head coaching vacancy, some other coach got hired. Oh yeah, Jesse Minter, former defensive coordinator for the Chargers. He got hired in Baltimore to take over the Ravens head coaching job. So I don't know I guess the Ravens, only way they can win a Super Bowl is, beef up that defense. They're not really worried about too much of the offense because of Lamar Jackson, 2-time league MVP. So that'll be interesting with them to see what they do. I don't know if I said this in my other session, but the New York Giants got John Harbaugh. Watch out for them. Watch out for the New York Giants. That's a sleeper team right there. And they got an experienced coach, former Super Bowl champion. They're going to be the one to watch out for in the NFC. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers. Since Mike Tomlin stepped down as the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers for 19 years, the Steelers did not hesitate to search for the next head coach. Throughout my existence and before I was even born, the Steelers will hire a young former defensive coordinator and make him their head coach. That's been going on since Chuck Noll. I was born when Bill Cowher was hired as a head coach of the Steelers back in '92. Bill Cowher was in his 30s. Chuck Noll was in his 30s. Mike Tomlin was in his 30s when they all got introduced to him being a head coach. The Steelers did something that wasn't traditional. Out of three of them coaches, Chuck Noll been a head coach for the Steelers for 23 years. Bill Cowher been a head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers for 15. And Mike Tomlin been a head coach of the Steelers for 19 years. The Steelers went a different direction. They went to hire a 62-year-old head coach, offensive-minded Mike McCarthy. When I heard about the news, I was silent. I thought they was going to get somebody young and try to rebuild this whole roster, get a younger coaching staff. It didn't go that way. And Steelers fans around the world were stunned, including me. But only thing I wanted to do is when I heard about that, I told somebody this. I left a comment on somebody's podcast video about the Steelers and Mike McCarthy. I said, I just want to go underneath my bed and cry when I heard about the news because the Steelers desperately made this move. And I wasn't a fan of it until a few days later. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's they're trying to whoever Mike McCarthy will hire to build his staff up when he's feel like he's burnt out coaching. What's it the next? I'm gonna say 2 to 3 years when he's done. Whoever the Steelers promote, whether it's the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, one of them will be promoted to head coach. But Mike McCarthy, now it's starting to make sense to me because he has a track record of developing quarterbacks. Like his time, I think they said Joe Montana, Green Bay with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, of course, and Dak Prescott from Dallas. So a lot of Steelers fans did not like that move, but hey, what can you do? Some call Art Rooney cheap, but now I see why they made that move. Because when Mike Tomlin addressed the team that he was stepping down, everybody in that locker room was crying. Like from what I heard, it was like a funeral. So I guess they didn't want to bring an unknown coach